Hi, friends. It's me and Ella hanging out. And Jenny's here. We're so excited to have Jenny from 316 Dye Studio here tonight. And so we are hanging out for the next 29 minutes, crafting and having a wonderful time. And
You've grown a person since I last saw you.
Yeah, I gained one. Yeah. The niece is fun to hang out with. So I will be fast on that mute button when she starts getting loud again. So sorry for that. But so I'll give everyone a couple minutes to get here. But we've been chatting here beforehand, and so we broadcast everything live, and then it saves and posts later too. Nice. So everyone can access it later and have all those things. And the last couple of nights I've been coming early because we've been eating dinner, and when we go out to eat, I'm afraid we're going to be like, it's this weird, like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like, we were trying to go to trivia last night, and it wouldn't come together. So
trivia. I feel like now, like, content, like posting content is like so much more popular than it was like a few years ago. People don't even like really bat an eye about like what you're doing. There's probably like, oh yeah, they're doing some social media thing probably, you know?
Yeah, so it's like, I try to get out here every night and do something different. So yeah, it's been fun though. I have been crocheting. Have you seen my crochet lately?
No, I haven't.
I crochet now. My little fox
on my list to learn. Oh, that's really
cute.
Little fox has like wobbles.
Yeah, the woobles. Yeah, he has his belly on now, and I did it the right size, and I left enough tail to weave it in, so I had to redo this twice. So it's been a saga around
here. When my first niece was born, like almost 18 years ago, I crocheted. This was like the only thing I've ever crocheted her a little like stuffed lion that was a Vanna White pattern.
Oh, that's fun.
And it came out really cute, and from never crocheting anything, it turned out okay. Mm-hmm. But then immediately like have erased in my brain on how to crochet. So
I still like knitting better. It's just my thing.
But that's just because your brain is used to it.
Yeah.
You haven't done enough of it yet.
So I've been trying to do a little more and be more like well-rounded, I guess is the way to put it. So that's one of the challenges for this month is that I was trying to do something different every week. And the first week was crochet.
My list to learn too, because I have people coming up to me at shows asking about, crochet patterns. And I'm just kind of like in the dark. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I only knit.
Yeah. I know enough to be really dangerous.
And I did take a class last year from one of my friends that teaches classes. And it was a great class. She recorded it and everything, but I just never sat down to actually really try to make something and try to get that muscle memory going. Just because I was like, I have all these other knitting projects I want to get to first. And then you know how that is. So
yeah. So Joan Quinless just chimed in, and that is grandbaby here. So grandma's saying hi. So yeah, I'm here with the dog and the cat as well. So I'm hanging out this evening.
So do you have a current whip that you're working on?
Do I have it? Yeah, I talked about it last night. I have these socks. I'll show them off. Are you getting a great view of the spare room we're in? So these are the Woolens and Nosh Advent socks. And they're great. They're beautiful. Do you see these beautiful socks?
Oh my gosh, they're so long.
They're so long, right? And then, so I tried them on yesterday.
Is each like row or each kind of zigzag a different
color? It was a different day, yeah. So, and then the full pattern repeated a second time in the ball. So, and it's already split into like half skeins. So, like, you pulled it out and you saw each color as you went.
Nice.
Like each day was different.
Really cute. That's coming out really nice.
Right. And I really like this pattern that's on. It's like a chevron. It's called Peace and Joy Socks by Kristen Drucker. And what I didn't account for was that it has a pattern on it. So every sock that I have made lately has been a plain vanilla sock with no pattern. So I knit 56 stitches. That fits my foot great, and I love it, and it's wonderful. And then I was working on it, and here we have now, I can't get them over my heel.
Oh, no. Can you do like a Flegel heel or something to like add some extra fabric?
I can't get them on at all. Like, they will not go past my heel at all. Like, I didn't account for them coming in so much, like the decreases reducing that stretch so much, because the foot fits fine because it's all stockinette on the
And now
bottom.
it's like too far to like rip back and
So I'm like trying to come up with what I want to do with it. So it's yeah.
I'm not a huge sock knitter, but I do actually have a pair of socks going right now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of on theme with the holiday. Have you seen the I Heart Socks pattern? Or I Love Socks, Stone Knits is the designer. Yeah. So
yes,
I decided to make a pair, and the pattern is like a 2-color pattern, but I decided to be extra and make like each row a different color.
That
so
is
I
extra.
wanted to knit it like a sock tube because it's a colorwork pattern.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. So like here, so I have the first full sock here. I'll turn around. That's where my heel is going to be. I'm just going to do an afterthought. And then this is the foot. That's where the toe will be. And then the start of the new sock. So that's what I'm working on.
Wow. That's impressive.
I love it. Like 100 million ends to weave in, but that's all right.
Yeah, that colorwork socks is just not on my list. That is not on my list.
See, that's what's gonna get me into doing more socks is colorwork socks.
But you do this you do the blanks and then you dye over them. So yeah. So when we did this with Bashful Armadillo, who you met last year at Eureka, we just kind of did like a little quick interview thing where basically we're like, hey, why did you pick your name number 1, like your 316 Dye Studio? Why is that?
I actually get that question pretty like frequently for people who aren't familiar with the business. Some people think that it's a biblical reference because of John 3:16, but it's actually the area code where we're from. So in Wichita, Kansas, where I'm from, the area code is 316. So I wanted something that kind of tied me back to my Kansas roots, and that's why I decided on 316 for the name. Or 316, people say either or. There's not one right way really or the other. So that's where the name comes from.
That's perfect though. And we bought a cooler last year for Eureka, and it's one of the Coleman ones, and apparently there's a Coleman plant in Eureka.
Actually not too far from where I live, like
in Wichita.
Like maybe 10-minute drive from like where I am.
And so it has a giant sticker on it that says like it's 316. Like
you think of me every time you see it?
I do, I really do. So I'm like, that's awesome. And so we made that connection. And then sometimes I get phone calls because I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, they're calling from Wichita because I make that connection.
Wichita's really interesting because a lot of businesses start here and people don't know that that's where they're originally from. Like Pizza Hut originally started here in Wichita. The very like original Pizza Hut that is on the Wichita State campus now as a museum. White Castle started here. We have a lot of restaurants because apparently I don't know if it's just the size and location, but a lot of restaurants will test their audience here, I guess. And one of my friends that moved here, that wasn't from Kansas, she moved from another state, and she's like, you guys do have a lot of restaurants for Wichita for like your population. I was like, and I haven't ever really thought about it or I'm from here. I don't really think twice about what we have and what we don't have. She's like, yeah, comparative to other places I've lived, you guys have a ton of restaurants, which we do have some really good quality ones too, which you'll see when you come for Convergence.
I'm excited. Yeah, we're going to come up there for Convergence this year, and a lot of our friends are coming. So we're very excited about that. And hopefully Jenny and Kendall both have a room for us.
Yeah.
So we can hang out with them.
Reserve your room. Yes.
We're so excited. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take you to some good places. Yeah.
Okay. So that's really awesome, and I'm really glad to know a lot of that like background now. So how long ago did you get into dyeing yarn or fiber? And like what do you like to dye? That kind of thing. Like
yeah. Great question. So my I guess fiber journey started when I did cross stitch, like all the way back in middle school. And that got me into knitting later on in college. And then I just always had an interest in dyeing, but didn't ever really give it a go until I took a class, I'm going to say like early, like 2010-ish. because I was in grad school at the time. That's how I remember like the time frame. And I remember just that very first skein of yarn that I ever dyed was like just so magical. I thought it was like the most fun I had ever had. It was a 4-hour class and it flew by like in 5 minutes. It felt like I was there. But after that, I kind of caught the bug. So we also, at the time, one of our last local yarn store was kind of closing, not because she ended up retiring.
Mm-hmm.
One of them sold and she moved away. And I kind of left just one that had been around for a really long time. But she decided it was time for her to retire and she was closing. So that really left Wichita without a local store to even go to.
Right.
So we have a spinning group that meets every third Sunday once a month. And there was no place in Wichita you could even get hand-dyed roving at the time. Yarn was kind of like Hard Enough, which is the one store, but there was really nowhere for roving. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of play around, just dyeing up some roving and then bringing it to my group. And the ladies there were so like encouraging and they bought some of my fiber. So I dyed up a little bit more and then they bought a little bit more. And then that kind of just made an accidental business and kind of sprung. So I actually started dyeing roving before I started dyeing yarn.
Wow.
And it wasn't really until I started doing more shows to when I started doing more yarn. So that's how I kind of got into the yarn. And it's kind of been like flip-flopped a little bit. I stopped doing roving for a while because more people tend to crochet and knit than they do spin. So a lot of my focus was on yarn dyeing, but now it's kind of come back around to where I've done more roving again. And I think now it's about probably half and half about what I do. But the roving's been really fun to kind of come back to because that was kind of my roots. But I've also started natural dyeing. That's been my new rabbit hole, is natural dyeing. And learning, specifically eco printing, has been like my new obsession. And you can't see now, but like out this window is where my dye garden is. It's dark right now, so you can't see. But in the summertime, it's in full bloom. I can look out my window and see, and it's super fun and super rewarding to grow your own color and use it. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. She was crying, so I didn't want to blow everyone's ears out.
Yeah. So I actually have some samples if you want to see.
Yes.
So
yes, please share.
This is perfect for your niece. I should just send you one of these. So I dyed over the holiday break. I dyed some onesies sets.
I saw those. They're so cute.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun. And then it comes with like two little socks.
Little booties. How cute are those? That's too fun.
Then we also, so all the flowers on these were grown in my dye garden. And then some of them too, like for the leaves in the fall time, leaves are really high in tannin. So we went and foraged in our neighborhood with some maple trees and got some leaves. So we have some leaf printed ones too that we did. So these are maple leaves.
Those are awesome. I love that. And are you doing the sock blanks with the connection that you found last year?
Yeah, so like eco printing the sock blanks?
The sock blanks, like the I know you were talking about working with a mill. Or are you getting
I have some sock tubes that I dyed that we had cranked, and then I have some other ones that I eco printed on.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about maybe?
You had mentioned something about working with Phoenix Fiber Mill.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to get some actual socks cranked out. So with her, and then I contacted her, and we're still trying to work some stuff out. But I do have, and I'm working with another supplier that uses all locally sourced wool and USA grown.
Oh, that's nice.
Fibers.
Yeah.
So they're climate beneficial fibers. So all the socks that I'll have for sale this year will be from them. And I'm really excited about that. They haven't been milled yet. I'm supposed to be getting them in the springtime. Yeah. But yeah. And then that's also in the downtime, I've been taking a couple natural dye courses through Maywa, which is a natural dye supplier out in Canada.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking an indigo class, which has been really fun to learn about.
I saw your indigo vat the other day. That looked awesome.
But I kind of like crumpled up and dipped in the indigo.
You'll have to pick Gina's brain sometime.
Oh my gosh. I would probably talk to her for 5 hours and she would be like, oh my gosh, get this lady away from me.
No, she wouldn't. She loves it. She loves talking about it. So
Yeah, so
The next time she's over.
And then I'm doing a print and paste class. So learning to use thicken natural dyes to like actually print and paint on fabric. And that's been really fun.
That does sound really fun. So you do roving, which is great because I bought some last year and I got what did I get? Targi? No, BFL, a mixed BFL.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this
very
is
popular colorway.
Cinder and Smoke. Yeah, I believe Young Folks Knit will be has done a lot of that one.
Yeah, she's making a pressed flowers cardigan and then using her hand spun for the color work in it.
I'm not there yet. I'm just happy to make something.
I thought it would be fun to do like actually make a hand knit sweater or whatever out of my hand spun or a hand
someday
sweater out of my hand spun. But you know, I'm a process spinner. I think we've talked about this. I'm a process spinner. So like making just the yarn is enough for me. Like I don't really need to go the extra step and like doing my own fleece or actually making anything out of my.
I know what you're talking about. I saw that you went and bought a fleece.
Well, okay, but that's for a different purpose.
Okay.
That's for something special that I'm hoping to come out maybe next year.
Oh, my friend Anita wants to know, will the onesies be at Eureka? I don't think so. Jenny and Kendall were at Eureka last year. And this year they're going to be doing a special event because it's March 16th or 316 day. And they're going to be doing a special event in their hometown. So not this year.
We're doing a local crawl here in Wichita. So I'll have them there, but they are available on my website if you're interested.
Yeah. That'll help her out. Okay. What else you were talking about? Oh, tell us about this fleece. Yeah, I saw you went to the farm and went and saw Treasure Goddess.
So I don't know if this will all come to fruition or not, but my plan and my hope is to have an all local Kansas fiber. So it's one that's grown, processed, and dyed here all in Kansas. And so one of the growers I've been working with and been in communication with has a flock of about 100 ewes out in northeast Kansas. So we went to visit their farm and chat with them a little bit and got some of their fleece to hopefully get processed. So yeah, it's been pretty exciting to kind of like source that. And it's not a fast process.
No.
You know? I'm hoping that I'll have some samples this summer, but we'll see. Depends on how backed up the mills get.
There are some great ones, and there's a couple. There's a really great one that's coming to Convergence that we work with. It's Winterstrom Ranch out of South Texas.
Oh, nice.
So so she'll be there. Sarah, she actually appeared on our show on this live last week.
Are they a full service mill? Like, do they go all the way up to yarn?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nice.
So she does a little bit all of it. Yeah, it's great. And then we carry her soap, felted soap, in our box from Texas. So it's goat milk soap that she makes on the farm, and then alpaca that she has as well.
So she has her own animals in addition to
Yeah, they have their own animals too. Yeah. So it's a full thing. And no, it's a lot of, I love having all the connections in all the different places. So it's nice to see who we've worked with in the past coming together. And so we haven't gotten to work with Treasure Goddess yet, but I really hope that we get to soon. So
Christina's so nice. You'll love her. She's super nice. I actually got to visit her studio last week. Whatever day we went up to see the sheep, the day before we went and got to visit her studio space, and it's pretty nice because she has a lot of property and kind of turned the barn that came with the property into her dye studio.
Yeah,
I
heard that. That's pretty cool. Really cool. Some of the other people who usually pop in for this live is Marlin Farms. Now they do a little bit of roving and prep work. Marlin Fiber Farms, and they work with Winterstrom as well. So there's a couple down there, and then what's the other mill? There's a couple other mills down there as well, and a couple other alpaca farms down there as well. So they're pretty cool.
I think it's so fascinating watching the process of the fiber, like each different stage.
Is there a mill in Kansas?
We actually have 2 that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
One is not too far from Wichita, out in Augusta, which is about 15, 20 minutes from here. The owner actually is one of my friends, but she is just kind of very small. She has all the equipment to process all the way up into yarn, but it's just really her processing everything.
Uh-huh.
And then we have another one out in Northeast Kansas that goes and up to Roving Tallgrass Woolery. At Kellyville. They've been at Fiber Christmas in July.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I've met them. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I know them.
But they only go up to Roving, so they can't do yarn.
Yeah, there's quite a few mills that are popping up, and it's really nice to see that it's growing again.
Yeah.
So the next question is kind of weird, but it's what is your favorite colorway to dye? Because I know you've been getting into doing your natural dyes and doing the prep stuff.
One colorway?
Yeah, just one. What's your favorite one?
God, that is a hard question.
I know.
I would probably have to think about that for a second. I mean, if I had to say a genre type, it would be all the brights. Of course, I love my neons, but I don't know if I can just pick one color. That's too hard. That's like, what's your favorite child?
What's your favorite collection then? Because I know you have one.
Well, recently I just got to revisit an old collection that I dyed 2 years ago. We put together a Valentine's Day countdown, all based off the Princess Bride. It was called the As You Wish collection. And recently for one of our stockists, they wanted that entire collection. So I got to revisit that from a few years ago and do the whole collection over again. And that was really fun. So currently, since it's probably the freshest in my mind, I'll go with that one. But the Bob Ross one is pretty awesome too.
I'm a little partial to that one, but that's because I have it on the truck. So
yeah. I mean, that one had a lot of really soft color. Because I don't do a ton of soft colors.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what you see that I have are really bright and bold colors.
Mm-hmm.
So doing the Bob Ross one kind of got me out of my comfort zone a little bit and making a little bit softer palette. And those colorways actually ended up being some of my favorite in the collection.
That's awesome. I liked what you did for YarnCom and seeing their
brand colors.
Lovely. Yeah. Sorry, she just vomited on me. It's great. I'm holding it together really well here. Was that really necessary? Yes, apparently it was. Okay.
Well, you can't see anything on camera, so that's
good.
You're vomit free on camera.
Perfect. Anita says that she really, really loves that onesie, and so she popped over to your website to look at it. So, and all of them. So she's very excited about that.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 different styles in the onesies and the socks. I try to do a couple different styles of stuff, but this year I'm hoping to have some kits available at the shows I'll be doing. So if anyone is interested in grabbing a kit, head over to the website, sign up for the newsletter so you can kind of stay in touch with where we're going to be throughout the year. Because I have lots of big plans for the Dye Garden this year. Lots of things I want to grow and lots of new stuff I didn't grow last year. So I'm really excited for this growing season.
That is awesome. What's your favorite plant to grow for the Dye Garden?
I would say my favorite is probably a tie between Coreopsis. So we actually here in the Midwest, we have Plains Coreopsis that grows, and the bloom is maybe about an inch, only about an inch, but it just prints really pretty on the socks. It prints an orange color, but you can use the whole thing. So you can use the blooms and the stem print also. So you can get really nice, really kind of whimsical designs using the whole flower that way. Yeah. But then also Black Knight Scabioses, which print a bluish teal color. And that is just, you don't really see a lot of that blue teal color in dye flowers. It's actually pretty unique to find that, because the only natural blue that's really out there is indigo. So to kind of get a flower that prints a bluish color is pretty rare.
That's awesome. No, that's super cool. I have not ventured into that yet. That is, I don't really have any space for it, but We're going to have fun.
I don't know. Maybe you could have one just in the truck, just like a little plant. And
one plant that I probably won't kill.
You can like hang and it'll get the sun.
In all of the
growing some indigo and some madder root, which I didn't grow last year.
Oh yeah.
So madder root takes 3 years to develop because it's the roots that you use to dye with, and not the flower or the stem. It's the roots of the flower, and that takes about 3 years to really develop. So hopefully it'll be worth it. I'm going to start it this year, and we'll see. But hopefully do some fresh leaf indigo dyeing too, which will be really fun.
Yeah. I was hoping we'd get to see Kendall tonight.
Oh, he's cooking. Yeah.
Oh, he's cooking.
I'm making dinner.
See, everyone can't see, but Dean is also here and doing things. He hid his camera, so he might pop in a minute. But
if you Kendall come to the shows because he's my yarn husband, and all the ladies love coming in the booth and talking to him.
Yes, I think they feel the same way about Dean, so it's kind of nice to have him around.
He's a better salesman than you, would you say? I feel like Kendall is. Like he's
sometimes, for sure. Sometimes he is. Definitely has. He appeals to a different audience than I do. So yeah, it works. It works really well. What was the other thing? Anita also says that she's knitting some baby socks. So, so adding a onesie with that would be super fun. So I think I had one more question. Now I gotta remember what it was. The spit up got me. Now I'm totally like lost in what I'm doing. What's your show schedule like this year?
Yeah, so this year we have something scheduled about once a month from March to September currently. October, we haven't finalized anything yet. But we're going to there's a couple shows that we have this year out on the West Coast. We'll be out in Seattle in August. A lot of the Midwest. So I'll be teaching a lot too at some of the festivals we're at. So if you're interested in the eco printing or anything like that, there are a handful of festivals we're vending at that I'll also be teaching at. So make sure you go to our website, 316dyestudio.com, and sign up for the newsletter, because I'll be promoting where I'm going to be teaching and all that good stuff. So
we're excited to overlap with you at quite a few shows. I know we're going to do Midwest.
And I'm really looking forward to Midwest,
and then Shepherd's Harvest. And I don't know what you're doing for June. But
June, I decided to take the month off, but we'll be doing the retreat together, the Judy and Eileen retreat.
Judy and Eileen retreat, which is going to be super fun in Iowa. So that'll be actually my second show in Iowa. I'm going up to, in April, we're going to do a quilt show. So,
that would be fun.
So we're going to be at Amana Colonies. And
well, maybe you can get away from the truck for a few hours and take like a class with me.
I would hope so. It's on my list to do this year, is to do more fun stuff. So I'm taking a spinning class at Eureka, and I'm taking an online embroidery course about darning. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that has been something that's like my next like almost obsession. It's like, here's my natural dyeing, and then like the embroidery is like almost just right there. I really want to put together some embroidery kits. I think that would be super fun.
Well, you have market.
I have this 100% silk hand-dyed embroidery floss that I'm sitting on my shelves that I need to do something with.
That will be super fun. I can't wait to see that. So, okay. So what are you working on besides your socks? Is that it?
Yeah, I just finished plying one of my yarns I was spinning. I didn't start anything new fiber-wise, but yeah, I'm a monogamous knitter. So I can't, multiple whips gives me anxiety. So currently just the socks right now.
I have so many. I showed you the socks, but I have so many. We just don't talk about them.
I do have one of my friends did that. Maybe I can like show the camera. You can see the loom right there.
Ooh, yeah, because you're part of the Hand Weavers Guild, right?
I'm not part of the Hand Weavers Guild, but one of my friends that is a weaver I took a weaving class in November. And so I kind of want to also get into the hand dyeing some warps. So she brought me over her loom for me to play around with. So that's been kind of fun.
That is excellent. I love it. I can't wait to see what you make with that. I'm sure I'll get updates, and I'll be happy to share those. with our audience. I am so glad that you came and hung out with us tonight, and I appreciate it. And thanks for putting up with Ella. She's like burying her head in her burp cloth. She's like, I'm done. So done. But yeah, we appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us and showing what 316 is all about and all the fabulousness that you are creating. Do you have any of your yarn there handy to show off?
Yeah, I'd have to go grab some. I mean, it's just like right there on my shelf.
Oh, yeah, no,
like
okay.
1 second.
So, Anita, I hope that shawl is going really well for you and that we're so glad that your internet is liking you tonight. So I'm so excited about that for you, too. I don't know who else is popping in over on Instagram. I know that Jenny shared this with her followers over there, and I can't see those comments where I'm at, but this has been a really fun interactive, and I really love this part of our lives and doing all this. So, are you gonna throw up on me again?
Okay, so I just grabbed a few of my favorites.
Yay!
This, and I don't know how these colors are gonna come across on camera, but this is a little bit brighter in person. It's more of like a really bright emeraldy green. This is from the Bob Ross collection. This is the phthalo green color.
That looks so different on the baby llama.
Well, like in person, it's coming across kind of dark on camera. In person, it's much brighter. And then this is also, of course, one of my favorites. This is Artist and All of Us, which I think you have on the truck too. Do you have this color on the truck?
I'm out of that color.
Yeah. It's super fun, bright purple. I named it after kind of like all the non-traditional type artists. So like Bob had a quote called Artist and All of Us. That even though you're not like a traditional like painter or drawer, like you can still be considered an artist. And I felt that very fitting being a textile artist.
Yes.
So that's why I named it that color. And then this Ebony Sea is one of our most popular colors.
Also Bob Ross.
Too. This is also Bob. So we also, this is one of my favorite colors for socks. This is called Heart Beats Loud, which is very appropriate for the holiday coming up.
Yes.
And I have a whole bunch of minis too online, just single that you can buy. These are 10-gram minis.
Ooh, nice.
You can get in a variety of colors if you love doing color work, you know, and you don't want to buy a full skein. They're perfect for that.
I love doing that, and I love using those for my cranked sock too.
That's what I'm doing. I'm using all 10-gram minis for all my color work for my sock.
I love that. Hey, you're almost done. We're almost done.
So it's a great way to try out new colors too if you're like, oh, I don't know.
It really is, and it's nice for you to be able to use smaller pieces here and there as well. So, all right, I think I'm gonna have to go. Unless Dean's going to pop in and chat with you some more. But we really appreciate you coming on with us and hanging out with us this evening. And I hope you get to come and join us again soon. Yes. And we would love to see what you make this month. So
thanks so much for having me. And I'll see you soon next month.
Yes, you'll see me next month somewhere.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.